Hi there, my name is Dr. Dave Thomas, and I work in the Department of Politics and International Relations right here at Mount Allison University. One of the really exciting programs we offer in the department is the International Relations Program. What we do in the International Relations Program is provide students with what we call a multidisciplinary approach to understanding international politics and the world. So what does that mean? We have a core number of courses in politics and international relations, but then we also have you taking some courses in economics and a language, a second language of your choice. And this is, in our view, part of the interdisciplinary approach to understanding how the world works. From there, you can also choose to tailor part of your degree in a direction, in a multidisciplinary direction that suits you. So for example, if you're really interested in religious studies, you could take religious studies courses that have an international focus to them as part of your degree. Or if you're really interested in history or geography or women's and gender studies, you can incorporate those aspects and international aspects of those programs into your IR degree. Now, so what do we actually look at in the program itself? Well, one of the things we concern ourselves with is power. What is power and how does power operate internationally? And the traditional way of understanding international relations is to think of it just as relations between states or relations between nations. And this is a lot of what we do. So we have courses, for example, in the foreign policy of Middle Eastern states. And then we also have really exciting courses like global governance or one that I teach at the fourth year level called Global Governance Simulation. So in that course, we simulate, for part of the course anyway, we simulate the United Nations Security Council, and each student is assigned a state or a country that they must represent and sort of act out throughout the semester. So this is what I mean by a more traditional focus on relations between states. So how do countries relate to one another? But then we also kind of look at a more contemporary way of understanding international relations, to not just look at states and countries and how they interact with each other, but we also look at things like intergovernmental institutions like the United Nations, the World Bank, the IMF, the World Trade Organization. And then we also look at what we call non-state actors, which are things like corporations, non-governmental organizations, social movements, things that are not technically part of the state but have a big impact and influence on global politics. We have a lot of really fantastic students coming through the IR program. And one of the most exciting things about my job is staying in touch with the alumni and seeing what they do once they leave here. And a lot of students use the IR program for all kinds of different careers and avenues to explore later in their life. So for example, some use the IR program like you'd use many other undergraduate degrees, where you would use it as a first degree to get into something like education or social work or public administration. Then we have students go into professions in things like law, medicine, working for the government, working in the not-for-profit sector, working in the private sector, starting their own businesses, working as farmers, literally everything under the sun. And one of the things that we try to do to prepare students for the world afterwards is focus on developing really solid critical thinking skills and really solid problem-solving skills that are applicable in almost any walk of life and almost any career. And the second thing we really focus is on communication skills, both written and verbal communication skills, and developing those really solid way in the students. So all those things being said, it's a really dynamic and exciting program here. I've been here for 12 or 13 years and I'm still really excited to be part of the department and part of the IR program. Thanks everyone.